Judge laughs at Joker in court and then gets stunned when Joker reveals shocking legal genius. They say a courtroom is the one place where truth can't be twisted. But that was before he walked in. Before the man in purple cuffs, the man with the painted smile, the man everyone swore was a monster. The judge looked at him and laughed, not knowing that the one standing before him wasn't just a criminal, but the only person in the entire room who understood how justice truly works. Because on that day, the Joker didn't come to escape punishment. He came to expose it, and the moment he opened his mouth, the entire courtroom realized, you don't laugh at a man who already knows your secrets. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss stories that twist your mind, shake your heart, and keep you questioning everything you thought you knew. The courtroom smelled of polished wood, old secrets, and fear. The kind people pretend not to feel, but it leaks through the cracks anyway. The crowd whispered as officers pushed Joker toward the defense table, chains clinking like metallic laughter. His face was calm, too calm. That unsettling painted smile didn't twitch, didn't shake. It simply existed, as if he was the only one who knew how the next hour of their lives would unfold. Judge Harrington leaned back in his seat, a deep, amused scoff escaping his lips. Well, well, the clown who thinks he's a philosopher, he said, tapping his gavel. Let's hope you're funnier on the stand. Joker looked up slowly, pupils dark as storm clouds. Funny, he whispered. You're going to wish I was joking. The courtroom fell silent, not out of respect, but instinct. Some part of every soul in that room recognized danger dressed in confidence, but nobody understood why the Joker allowed himself to be caught. Nobody understood what he was planning, and nobody understood that the real crime wasn't committed by him, but by the man sitting behind the judge's bench. The prosecution started strong. Photos, statements, witnesses trembling while describing the night Joker went too far. They painted him as chaos in human form, a monster, a threat, a stain on Gotham. Joker didn't blink. He watched, studied, listened, his breathing slow, controlled, almost bored. When the judge smirked at him again, Joker tilted his head with a curiosity that sent a ripple of discomfort through the courtroom. You know, Joker finally said, speaking up without permission. People laugh for two reasons, Your Honor. Either something is truly funny, or they're scared to death. Judge Harrington slammed his gavel. You will speak only when... But Joker cut in, voice smooth as a razor's edge. When I'm spoken to? Or when you feel safe enough to hear truth? Gasps filled the room. The judge's smile tightened. For the first few minutes, Joker seemed like a madman provoking authority. But then, something shifted. When his attorney nervously asked whether Joker wanted to testify, the room braced for chaos. Instead, Joker stood with surprising grace and stepped into the witness box like a professor walking onto a stage he owned. The first question, Mr. Joker, do you deny the accusations against you? There was a long pause, followed by an unsettling smile. Deny? No. Monsters deny. I don't. The courtroom tensed, but then Joker leaned forward. What I do deny, he began, voice low, is the illusion this court hides behind. The illusion that the law is blind. His gaze slid to the judge. Because we all know someone in this room made sure I ended up here today. Not because I broke the law, but because I got too close to breaking you. Judge Harrington's face stiffened. Whispers spread through the gallery like wildfire. Joker continued almost gently. Tell me, Your Honor, how does corruption feel when someone dares to touch it? Does it sting, burn, or does it just make you laugh out of habit? The judge shot to his feet. Enough! You are attempting to manipulate this courtroom. Oh, I'm not manipulating, Joker purred. I'm revealing. He reached under the stand and pulled out a small sealed envelope the guards failed to notice, because nobody expects a man in chains to look prepared. He held it up with 2 fingers. This, he said, is the reason I walked in here today. The room froze. Security moved in, but the judge barked for them to stop, his voice cracking with confusion. Joker gestured politely toward the judge. "Open it." Hands trembling, Harrington tore the seal. Inside were photographs, documents, bank transfers, a signature, the judge's own. The color drained from his face so quickly the gallery reacted before he did. Joker smiled wider. "You framed me to hide the people you were paid to protect. You thought no one would ever uncover your little secret." He leaned closer, eyes gleaming. "But secrets are my specialty." The judge stuttered, This is fabricated." "Oh, no, no, no," Joker whispered. "I'm many things, but I don't lie about other people's sins. I simply highlight them." For the first time, the judge looked genuinely afraid. Joker sat back, watching him unravel. "Your Honor," Joker said softly, "remember when you laughed at me, when you mocked the clown?" He shrugged. "I warned you. People only laugh when they're amused or terrified, and today your laughter sounded like a man who knew the truth was coming." The judge sank into his chair, sweating, silent. But Joker wasn't done. He raised his chin, voice cold enough to freeze the room. "And by the way," he looked directly into the camera recording the trial, "this isn't about proving myself innocent." He paused. "It's about proving who's truly guilty." The crowd erupted. But before the judge could respond, the courtroom doors burst open. A security guard rushed in, pale and breathless. "Your Honor," he gasped, "the police. They're here. For you." Joker tilted his head with the gentlest, most terrifying smile. "Now," he whispered, "shall we begin?" The courtroom collapsed into chaos the moment the officer announced the unthinkable. The police had arrived not for the Joker, but for the judge who mocked him. Judge Harrington's jaw hung open as if someone had unplugged his entire world. His gavel slipped from his fingers, hitting the floor with a hollow clack that echoed louder than any verdict he had ever delivered. For the first time since Joker walked in, the judge looked small. Joker watched him with the curiosity of a man studying a trapped animal. No anger, no hatred, just observation, as if this moment wasn't revenge, but research. Two detectives stepped forward, their badges gleaming under the courtroom lights, their expressions stone cold. "Judge Harrington," one said, "you're under arrest for bribery, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to pervert the legal process." The gallery gasped. Phones came out. Reporters leaned over the benches like vultures sensing fresh meat. The judge staggered back. This is a misunderstanding. I'm the victim here. Don't you see who you're listening to?" He pointed frantically at Joker. "He's manipulating everyone." Joker sighed deeply, loudly, dramatically. "Your Honor, I don't manipulate." He tapped his forehead lightly. "I simply connect the dots people pretend not to see." The detectives turned to Joker. "You," one said cautiously, "are free to walk out of this courtroom. Evidence shows you were framed." Those words hung in the air like breaking glass. Free. The Joker. Free. The audience flinched at the idea like it was a gunshot. As the guards removed Joker's cuffs, Judge Harrington's voice cracked. "You can't let him go. He's dangerous. He's..." "Guilty?" Joker finished. "Of what? Exposing someone who thought he was untouchable. Tsk, tsk. If only the law punished pride." The judge lunged forward, but the officers pinned him instantly, his face, red and furious, twisted with a rage he could no longer hide. "You ruined everything!" the judge screamed. Joker smiled slowly, deliberately. "No, Judge, you did. I just turned on the lights." The detectives hauled the disgraced judge toward the exit. The press followed like hungry shadows, hurling questions. His life was collapsing in real time, and he could feel every second of it cutting into his skin. Joker stood alone at the center of the courtroom, stretching his wrists like a man waking from a long sleep. The people stared, half terrified, half mesmerized. This wasn't a criminal being freed. This was a storm being unchained. Joker walked toward the exit, whispering to the nearest officer. Funny thing about justice, it never arrives on time, but it always arrives. The officer shivered, even though Joker hadn't touched him. As Joker stepped outside, the cold Gotham air wrapped around him like an old friend. The sky was gray, heavy, expectant, as if sensing the city had just shifted. He took a slow breath. But then, someone grabbed his wrist. A woman, mid-40s, trembling, eyes red with panic. "Please," she whispered. You exposed him. You made them see him for what he really was." Her voice cracked. "My son. He's in prison because of that judge. He ruined innocent lives. She swallowed hard. "He destroyed my family." Joker looked at her hand gripping his wrist, and for a moment, for a strange, fleeting moment, his smile faded. Not completely, just enough to reveal something human. "I didn't do it for you," he said, voice soft as paper. "I did it because people like him think they're safe." She nodded, tears streaming. "I know, but thank you." Joker stepped back, blinking slowly, almost confused by gratitude. It was unfamiliar, uncomfortable. Then another voice echoed across the steps. "So what now, Joker?" Reporters, cameras, microphones pointed at him like loaded guns. The Joker raised his head toward the sky, exhaled, and let his smile return. "What now?" he mused. "Now the city remembers a very simple rule." He leaned closer to the nearest camera lens. "Never corner a man who has nothing left to lose." The crowd murmured. Joker began walking down the courthouse steps, blending into the mass of people gathering outside. For a few seconds, he disappeared among them like smoke fading into the night. Then, a gunshot cracked through the air. People screamed, police ducked, reporters scattered. Joker didn't fall. The bullet wasn't for him. It hit someone else. A detective, one of the men who arrested the judge, collapsed on the stairs. And beside his body, taped to the marble step, was a small playing card, a Joker card, but not his. The signature, the handwriting, the ink, all wrong. Joker's smile vanished completely this time. Someone else was in the game, someone copying him, someone sending him a message. And on the back of the card, written in jagged letters, were 4 words. "You're next, Clown King." The city didn't just free him, it awakened something darker. Joker slowly picked up the card, stared at it, then looked into the crowd with a grin that didn't hide the danger anymore. It advertised it. "Well," he whispered to himself, "isn't this fun?" And that was the day the courtroom learned a truth Gotham always feared. You can lock up a man, but you can't cage a legend, because when the Joker walks free, justice doesn't end. It begins. If you enjoyed this story and want more dark, twisted tales that blur the line between villain and hero, make sure to subscribe before the next laugh arrives.